Good morning, everyone. We'll get started in just 1 minute. So good to see you all today. Good morning. You'll notice you can turn on your closed captions in the bottom right corner of your toolbar if you'd like to see captioning this morning. I'm also going to put a link in chat. You can follow along and change your font and color, etc., by following the link that we put in chat. There you go. So good to see all these smiling faces. Alrighty. Well, good morning, everyone. I'm Katie Wade. I'm a Front Porch employee with the program Creative Spark, and I'm your host today. So it's so exciting to be here with you all. This is our 5th annual Creative Aging Symposium, 5 years, which is amazing. The Creative Aging Post Symposium is an event that shows us what it means to harness our personal and community creativity throughout our lives. So we can grow older in a way that allows us to reach our pinnacles of self-exploration and self-expression. So just quick housekeeping, you can submit questions in the Q&A, or you can chat in the bottom and you can turn on that closed captioning. All right, so I'm going to share a little bit more and then we'll get started. I want to thank so much to our creator level sponsors, Kaiser Permanente of the greater San Francisco area, and John and Leslie Woodward. We couldn't do this without you and all of our partners. So I want to talk a little bit about the concept of creative aging. We hear this Creative Aging Symposium, we hear this term. I want to talk about what that means for us. So when we think about creativity, in the literature, you'll find 2 types of creativity. There's little c, or private creativity, such as journaling or maybe having a really engaging conversation. Then there's big C, or public creativity, which may be something like exhibiting your art in a museum or playing for a huge crowd of cheering fans. And so little c creativity, it lives in all of us. You know, whether you identify as creative or not, whether you had a childhood creative wound, maybe someone told you that piece of art or that song wasn't good enough, whether you feel nervous when you're trying out something new or something artistic, little c creativity is in our bones. It seeps into every parts of our lives because life demands it. You know, when life throws a challenge our way, survival requires that we find a way to the other side. And so that adaptation, that solution, that finding a way to the other side is creativity. The more we can strengthen our creative muscle and get comfortable exploring and expressing ourselves, the better our lives are in all aspects. Now, the way we think about that second half of creative aging, when we think of that, I want you to take a broad brushstroke approach and consider the entire lifespan. You know, we're all growing older every day, and with that, we're learning and adapting. And the longer we do that, the more resources we have to reach the heights of reinventing ourselves, leveraging our creativity, and then sharing that out to others, you know, to younger generations so that they can build upon our knowledge. That cycle of growth and sharing fuels our lives and our communities. And we'll be hearing more about that today. So for the next 2.5 hours, we have a back-to-back lineup of exciting speakers and creative demonstrations. I can promise you spontaneous offerings of music that will move your soul, ideas that will revisit you later in the day, hopefully days to come, and above all, a remembering what it means to belong to ourselves, to be so rooted in our belonging that we carry it with us wherever we go, a remembering of how it feels to belong to others, to ground ourselves in community, to be seen. And we'll end on a vision for the future that pulls on memories of long ago when society had spaces for generations to embrace each other and to belong together. So here's our call to action for the next 2.5 hours. Brene Brown says in her book, Braving the Wilderness, true belonging is not passive. It's not the belonging that comes from just joining a group. It's not fitting in or pretending or selling out because it's safer. It's a practice that requires us to be vulnerable, to get uncomfortable, and learn how to be present with people without sacrificing who we are. So I invite you to be vulnerable today as we explore this theme, rooted in belonging, and remember what it means to belong. We're not going to take a break today in the 2.5 hours, so take care of yourself whenever you need to, and know that we're recording the symposium for later viewing on our website. Again, there's Q&A buttons at the bottom if you want to submit a question for each speaker. And if you're joining from our partner, Well Connected, you can call the number 877-797-7299. We know that office number to submit your questions. If you'd like to use closed captioning, click that CC bar on the bottom toolbar there. Open the settings, you can change the size. All right, so we are going to get started. And I would like to welcome to the stage our first speaker, Calida Jones, who's giving our opening remarks. I'm so inspired by Calida's approach to her work and her accomplishments. Calida is an accomplished musician, social justice advocate, and an educator with more than 20 years of experience in planning, workshop and curriculum development, project management, and advancing equity, diversity, inclusion, and access initiatives. Calida is passionate about intentional and purposeful mentoring and community engagement, and her personal mission is to ensure that all of those with limited resources have access to arts opportunities and activities. Among her many roles, she is currently VP of Arts Consulting Group, and I have to tell you, she's amazing. Her work is so impactful, and we're really lucky to have her today. Thank you so much, Calida. I welcome you to the stage.
Katie, your speech was so thoughtful. Thank you so much. And it's so great to be here with all of you. I am coming in from Windsor, Connecticut, which is also the unceded land of the Tungus group. And I split my time between Connecticut and Washington, D.C., Maryland area on the land of the Piscataway tribe. My pronouns are she, her. And just a quick background on me, because they gave me a time and I am not going over that time limit, y'all. I'm not doing it. I'm not going to be that person. So my brief background is I'm a violinist by trade. I'm classically trained, but that is what I do. That does not define who I am. I am someone who advocates for those with untapped potential. We hear a lot of times that a lot of assumptions put on our community of seniors and a lot of assumptions put on our kids. And I don't believe in that. I believe that everyone has untapped potential and they simply need someone to activate it. They need someone to plug in, someone to sit back and listen, someone to activate the gift that they hold, but no one has actually taken the time to nurture it. Mainly because a lot of people just haven't had time, haven't had someone to nurture them. And so I work really hard to model that for everyone. It does not matter your age, your color, your ethnicity, your creed, where you are, how you identify, how you show up, just show up, right? Like, I think that's the most important part. Show up, have joy, be willing to take a risk, be willing to fail, because failure is part of growth. So that's just a little bit about how I view myself. And when I was talking to both Jessica and Katie, they were so thoughtful and asking me to ignite some energy into today's virtual conference. I would imagine if it was in person, I'd be screaming and running around the room because that's the kind of energy I like to inject into spaces where people want to grow and learn and be seen, be validated. As we look at what is creative aging, how does it show up? What is creativity and artistry? I have been up since 6, okay? I'm on the East Coast. It is now lunchtime here. I probably need to eat, have a protein shake or something. So forgive me as I've been rambling and going all day, all morning since 8 o'clock. But what does that mean? How do you show up? And do we have to pigeonhole people, right? There are folks that say, oh, I'm an artist, and everyone's an artist. Everyone is creative, right? I think everyone has a gift. I think that, the intentionality behind how you celebrate and elevate someone's art is what makes it real. And I like to always walk away from opportunities like this with a call to action. I like to say intentionally make space, make access available for folks who are creatively aging, for our seniors. I mean, my father is 70. Like, I have a 70-year-old dad. It's incredible. And he is so creative and it's brilliant. And I love watching how it shows up into the space. And I encourage it, I validate it. And I think validation is something that every single human being is looking for. They're looking to be validated. They're looking for their gifts to be appreciated, to be shared, to be amplified. And we have to do that work, because if we're not doing that, then are we really living with intentionality, or are we just letting time pass? And that's something that I really honor very deeply, especially over the last 2 years of what the world calls the pandemic. I call it a massive life plot twist. It's just a plot twist, and it keeps happening. It's like a movie that won't end, and I'm good. We can run the credits. Like, let's be done. And so I think of it as a life plot twist, and I think about this time that we are all gathered here right now as you all learn about how you can intentionally share art, how you can grow art within your communities that you're influencing. And that's just one of the ways, making it accessible. I think about the influential humans in my life, the people who I consider my elders. And my first one is the one who gave me life, and that's my mother. She passed away nearly 9 years ago, and she lives within me. She is my purpose, and I feel her inside of my heart every day. And she was only 59, and so I feel like I have so much work to do on her behalf. I have so many spaces to show up in on her behalf, and so many people to validate, so many people to amplify and prioritize above myself. And so when I'm thinking about how you do that, what do you do? How do you show up? Make it accessible, open it up to the community. And if you can't open it up to the community, then don't do it, because you don't ever want to stifle anyone. You can't be afraid to say no. And there are a lot of communities across our country where they say, oh, sure, you can do this if. And I'm not a big believer in the if. If you're putting a stop sign on my work, then it's a permanent stop sign. If I can't share it with everyone, then I don't want to share it at all. I want to give people opportunities. I don't want to look back. I don't want to have to think about, oh, did I do that right? I just want to give, and I don't want to worry about what I'm getting from it. And I want to validate everyone that's here on the screen. Even before we went live, I had an opportunity to just listen, and the gift of people who have come before me is hearing the joy in their voices, hearing the excitement that they are getting ready to share space with hundreds of other people who are wanting and willing to learn how to be more inclusive, how to be more intentional. So please, I implore you, live with intentionality. I do that in every space I exist in, because I know to do otherwise is to have a mindset of scarcity. And I have a very abundant life. I feel that it's my responsibility to give that away and to not look for anything in return. So when we think about our creative agers, I am shouting y'all out hard. I think you're amazing. I think you're beautifully brilliant people. And I channel my late mother. I channel my late grandmother, who passed in July at 87. And she passed not from COVID, because her assignment was done. And I hold on to that. Her assignment was done. And now her assignment lives within me, lives within my dad and my aunts and all of my other family members. And so for any of you that are going through anything that is really challenging right now in terms of health and life and strength, please know that you are seen, you are validated, your gifts are brilliant and beautiful, and find spaces where people will make room for it. And if they won't, leave, okay? I'm giving you the gift, the permission, the key. Walk away, do not look back, keep it pushing, and keep building your gift and nurturing the ground and tilling that ground. Always till the ground. I'm always tilling the ground, even in moments of trials and tribulation, which in a moment of vulnerability, I am currently existing in one. My father was admitted to the hospital yesterday. I am living through that right now. And I'm living and I'm giving life to other people who maybe you got on this call today and didn't feel like you had anything to give. You have so much to give. So if you're on that doubt side, get off the doubt and go for it. Jump in the deep end. You won't drown. Somebody's going to bounce and pick you up. So don't give up on that dream. If you have that one dream, that one painting, that one song, you better get out here and share it with the world. I want to see it. I want to hear it. And I'm excited that there are people that are here willing to take risks, take chances, get out here, build hard, and remember this one thing. I'm going to leave you this one thing. How many people's lives will be changed because you were a part of it? And if you can't answer that question, start doing the work. How many people's lives will be changed because you were a part of it? It has been amazing to share space with you all. I'm hoping I didn't go over time. Maybe I hit right on the right time. Did I do it? I did the assignment?
Perfect. You did it.
Okay. All right.
Lita, thank you so much, not only for how inspiring those words are, but that you are in a moment of vulnerability and are here with us sharing yourself today. We sure appreciate you. Yeah.